Hello, everybody, and welcome to another darkened edition of the Nola Nerd Podcast because we forgot to do this in daylight hours, and I still have yet to invest in a lamp right here for forward lighting. There's a window right here that we open the blinds to sometimes, but it doesn't help us much at night. So we get to go back to the SD version of our faces instead of the brightened HD versions. Ooh, scruffy. Anyway, let's move on. I'm Matt.
That thing drives me nuts. I'm Chris.
What is it?
It's your fucking ornament.
Oh, there we go.
Much better.
I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And we're the Nola Nerds, and this is our movie review. Very professionally begun, by the way. 45 seconds of bullshit.
Like every review.
We're really good at that. Oh, I like to think that's what people tune in for.
Do they tune into us?
Maybe.
If you tune in, is this what you tune in for? Leave a
comment. Let us know. Hit us up in those comments.
Yeah.
Now we're up to a minute. This is our review of Skyfall.
The third Daniel Craig James Bond film.
Out
of here.
Did you like that?
Nope.
I was super good at that.
Leaving this review. Ow.
Hey, Merlin's still on it. After all this time, it's still on.
Fucking Merlin.
Okay.
Totally not at the same time.
Okay, this is Skyfall.
So the first two Daniel Craig James Bonds kind of told this a linking story where he was facing evil organizations in Casino Royale and then went to Quantum of Solace.
And it was also like a kind of, but not really reboot. Like, it was never fully understood. Was this the story of his originalness? Because it was him getting his license.
Yeah.
And becoming 007, but at the same time, it almost took place after the others. The James Bond films have had a very tenuous continuity.
You know, you asked me about this, and I gotta tell you, there's no James Bond continuity.
It's just
there's
weird.
Zero.
It's weird.
Zero continuity.
I know. It just throws me off.
Here's what it is. Here's what it is. And this is I saw this on Cracked, and this is the way I view it.
There's many James Bonds.
Many James Bonds. James Bond never dies. There's always a James Bond.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nailed it. The character may die. The person may die, but James Bond is a title. 007 is a title.
Yes.
Okay. See, and I accept that, but some part of me just wants it all to fit coherently together. It's never going to.
There's no way.
I know.
It's like trying to fit all 80 years of Batman.
I know.
It doesn't work.
Shut up.
I'm letting you know.
I'm aware.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That is in no way a knock of the film. It does not detract at all.
No. Daniel Craig's James Bonds have all been a lot of fun. They've been very action-packed. You know,
they're almost a darker, grittier James Bond.
They're kind of harken back to the classics, the classic Bonds. You know, there's adventure, there's romance, there's
less quips.
Yeah,
the Pierce Brosnan era was chock full of quips,
which worked very well in the beginning, and then kind of got really tired by the end.
By GoldenEye, it was great. For GoldenEye, it was great, but by the time, what was it?
Die Another Day.
That was the one with
Halle Berry.
Yeah, Die Another Day. It was just like tired.
Yes, but Daniel Craig keeps it very dry, and he's kind of a super badass.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, this is almost like James Bond for the post-Jason Bourne era.
Yeah, it proves that James Bond is still relevant. He's like, it kind of reminds me of like the Sean Connery's Bond, where he was just kind of just this really dry guy that would fuck you up if you looked at him cross-eyed.
And he's just badass, and women just oozed over him.
Yeah,
and it never even seems like he tries.
He really doesn't.
He's just like, hey.
He's like taking a shower, and a woman comes in and he's just like, yeah, this is gonna happen.
You mean the other way around? She's taking the shower, and he just walks in.
He just walks in nude, and she's like, yeah,
it's like,
okay.
It's like, yeah, I can see this going.
Yeah, but I think the real star of this is Judi Dench.
What a way to end her tenure, because she started with GoldenEye.
She did go with GoldenEye,
and so from GoldenEye to Skyfall.
For two Bonds, she has been M. She's brought a touch of class to this role,
and a little more humor.
Yeah,
because as I recall, M was really not much of a character in the other Bond movies.
He was a facilitator.
Yeah, he was there to give the mission.
007. Shit's going down in Japan. You should go check it out.
He was like the version in Inspector Gadget. He was the guy that He was the chief that gave him the mission and then never showed up again until the next episode.
Yeah. But this M is a character. She's got political intrigue on her side. She's got to deal with, the freedom of the free world.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
In this movie, she actually is almost as much of a main character as Bond.
Maybe more so.
She always had more and more of a presence, especially in the Daniel Craig one. She jumped up.
I like the fact that in the Daniel Craig, like in the Pierce Brosnan, she was like his equal, and this one she's definitely like his
mentor, and mother almost.
Yeah.
And they have such a great relationship. And
great
in this one, the villain, James Bond, doesn't even factor into it.
No.
The villain in the whole plot of this is to get back at M for burning him essentially as a spy. Yeah.
The villain was played by Javier Bardem.
Oh, he was good.
He was fantastic because he was just this really flamboyant, super genius like the Joker, who had everything plotted out.
Everything, and I'm quickly realizing that is my favorite villain. Is the guy that has everything intricately plotted out, and every time you think, aha, I've got him, he's like, no, I wanted you to think that, and I planned for that eventuality all along, motherfucker.
There's a fine line to draw between that being just completely ridiculous and being amazingly awesome.
And when it's done well.
And I think Javier Bardem did it really well because he was a computer genius.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
And I just love the fact, because it's such a twist that James Bond is really only involved because he got involved.
Yeah, he was out of commission for the most part.
Yeah, and it's not even like in other times when James Bond is on his way to stop a known terrorist plot or something. Like, he just kind of almost stumbled upon this one because it was an attack on M.
Yeah, and it kind of draws some elements from Die Another Day, where James Bond has been out of commission and has been taken completely out of his element, and then is thrust back into the field and has to readapt on the fly.
Yeah. This shows a lot more vulnerable Bond, too, both psychologically and physically, trying to rehabilitate himself on the fly, like you said, like live action, like throw him in the deep end, see if he can swim.
We also got a lot of old mainstays that were not around in the Daniel Craig era. We got a new Q, who's a 20-year-old computer genius and is kind of awesome.
Super awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to remember who he reminds me of. He kind of reminds me of
Cillian Murphy.
Yes, I was about to say he's a British scarecrow. More British scarecrow.
Cillian Murphy is British.
More British.
Okay.
Because
his name's Cillian.
I know, but he totally hyped up the British aspect, where Scarecrow downplayed it for his role.
He was perfect as this understated guy. Only 5 people can crack this code, and I wrote it.
Yeah, and just the fact
it's perfect because it would make sense that your Q branch would be a fucking kid genius.
Yeah, and even the gadgets, because they really downplayed the ridiculousness of the gadgets. He's like, here's a gun that's DNA encoded, which reminded me of the Judge Dredd gun.
Yes.
And then he goes, "What, did you expect an exploding pen?"
We don't do that anymore.
The only thing that I was sad about was we didn't get the awesome kind of staple scene where he gets the decked out spy car.
Nope, there was a car that he had that was a throwback to the other cars.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't like a Q built.
But no, Daniel Craig's never had like a Q car.
I know. Well, he had that one in Casino Royale, but it wasn't like a Q car.
It was just
a spy car with secret compartments and shit.
Yeah, but that wasn't a Q car.
So we also got our new Moneypenny.
Yes. A black chick.
Which was nice because it, from the get-go, played up the intense sexual tension and
it's like
with no payoff.
Yeah.
Because that's always been the case with Moneypenny.
I know. And, I'm sure there was some flack for it, but I think she was perfect.
She was really well done.
Because she was a mental match for him, and I thought that was really nice.
Which was great because she started out as an agent on the field and then decided it wasn't for her.
Yeah.
So
she went to administration.
And then at the end we even got a male M back, which kind of again brings
Sean
it back
Connery.
to the whole, like, is the Daniel Craig stuff the prologue? Because we got the hiring of Moneypenny and the male M coming in. I know, but it's weird. I'm just saying.
Some parts you gotta let it go.
I'm gonna.
No, you're not.
This has been Silva, the crazy villain hacker guy.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah. I think he's one of my favorite Bond villains.
I thought in the middle he was really good. I wasn't thrilled with him at the end where he was just a shooting maniac. I kind of thought his plan was going to be better than that.
I think the other reason I like him so much is that he was very memorable.
Yeah.
I could not tell you. Like, I have vague memories of the newspaper magnate. I
love that fucking
guy.
Guy.
But I could not tell you many of other Bond villains anymore.
Yeah, I can.
Like the only other one that really jumps to mind is
Lashif.
Giannis from GoldenEye, and I think most of that has to do with the video game constantly keeping it in my presence.
Well, I mean, some of them are not memorable. I think for me it's Goldfinger, Lashif. Lashif was Casino Royale.
See, I have no memory of that.
Yeah, I got that one.
I think the thing that
GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, and I guess this guy now.
And Odd Job. Everyone remembers Odd Job.
Yeah, whatever. Odd Job.
And Jaws.
And Jaws.
But they're never main villains. They're
No,
like the henchmen.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. This was a very long film.
Yes.
Well paced, but long.
I was a little bored with the first third, at least until
because it was pure build up.
Until Silva showed up, I was kind of like, well, it's James Bond.
The score was very nice. Adele singing Skyfall. It was a good one. As to be expected in any James Bond film, the cinematography is top notch. The editing, the special effects, as it were, the action sequences were well choreographed. You're always going to be blown away by some of the driving sequences in the James Bond film. Mm-hmm. What else you got?
That's really about it.
How about that awesome scene in the house?
Yes,
just the siege moment.
Yes, the siege was pretty great. I really like the scene in the British Parliament House too.
Yes,
where Silva tries his first attempt, and it's pretty fantastic.
Just because that would have been the attempt,
and
the only attempt he needed.
Also, we got to talk about Ralph Fiennes, who he came on this movie and he was looking like this guy that was going to be like a complete ass the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And then
you're talking about the guy who ended up being M.
Yeah, the new M. Yeah, he looked like he was going to be an ass, and then about halfway through,
you realize he's really on their side.
Yeah,
like you thought he was going to be the typical bureaucrat, fucking up the works and making shit for everyone.
And then there's the scene in the building when he starts taking fire and like takes a bullet, and he's standing his ground. It's like, okay.
Oh, for me, I mean that was a good one, but it was the moment when they were doing the remote hacking to help Bond. He was like, well, yeah, fucking do it. That's a great idea. You're like, this guy.
This guy's going to be this guy. I look forward to seeing him as M.
Yeah. Especially considering his interaction with Bond to begin with.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a tension there.
So let's do the obvious thing. Yeah. Rank this film to Daniel Craig's other two.
It's not as good as Casino Royale for me. It may be a little better than Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, this is a solid second.
See, I really like Quantum of Solace a lot. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I wouldn't
say it's bad. I just said it. I just think it's the weakest.
I really like it a lot. I think it works for me. So I have to think about it a little bit more. But I think Skyfall inches ahead of it.
Yeah, I mean, this was very solid, and I think even just outside of their scope of James Bond, it's a good film.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's definitely it's definitely a Bond film. It follows all the Bond tropes.
It does.
But I mean,
it sets up a lot of Bond tropes.
Yeah, but in the hierarchy of films this year, it's a very solid middle of the packer.
I'm going to say the same for me. It's the second best of the Daniel Craig ones. I'm going to say, as a whole, I found Daniel Craig's Bond films better than most Pierce Brosnan ones, with the exception of GoldenEye.
And Tomorrow Never Dies.
No, with the exception of GoldenEye. For me, your mileage may vary.
Trust me.
I grew up watching James Bond with my dad, and our favorite thing was during big holidays when Spike would air the 20 Days of Bond or whatever, and just marathon them all. We would watch them so many times, to the point where I actually can't place specific scenes with the movie, but I know the scene so well. There's that scene where Bond's skiing down, and he's taking out the guys with his gun ski.
That's a Timothy Dalton one, right? Yeah.
I mean, I just remember the scenes, not so much the... Oh, shit. Really quick. Bond girls. We didn't even talk about the Bond girls.
Berenice Marlowe, hot. Oh. Super hot.
As the first inevitably tragic Bond girl, she was extremely exotic with that accent that you just really
mixture of Terry Hatcher, Olivia Munn, and Keira Knightley. Yeah.
And the dresses she wore in that film, she wore them well.
Yes, she did.
And and the way she went out was really enjoyable too. Yes. What else we got?
The other chick, the Moneypenny, the new Moneypenny. She was cute.
Yeah, I mean he actually didn't really have his conquest one.
No.
that he usually has.
The one at the end.
Yeah.
You know, when Christmas comes twice a year.
Oh, God, it's just the one he ends with. All right. God, I hate you so much. This is officially our longest movie review ever. As you can tell, by the way, we've been pretty giddy about it. There's a lot to say about it, but Bond girl-wise, it was very strong.
Top notch. No Gemma Arterton, though.
No, that's very hard to beat her.
She's so hot.
She is.
Male gaze.
All right, I'm Matt.
Wait, we didn't give it a rating.
Oh yeah, shit, you're right. I keep thinking we're done.
No,
I give this a 9.
Yeah.
Day 1 purchase.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give this an 8.5. It's a day 1 purchase for me also.
And this is and it's a fitting tribute and an end to Judi Dench's career as M. And I'm glad she got a chance to do it this way,
like a badass
style, instead of her just not showing up in the next one with no real.
It's like oh, the other M died off screen.
Yeah, or just not even mention and be like, "Sup, M." Like,
yeah.
Hey, I'm a guy now, but we're not going to mention it. I really hope the Q comes back. He was really
the Q was great. He should come back.
Ben Winshaw.
Yeah, he should.
Good times. But yeah, so I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And we're the Nola Nerds, and this has been Skyfall. Go see it. Oh, that was so lame.
So awesome!
Ugh.